Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Panerai Radiomir 3 Days PAM00685, a 2017 special series of 1,000 pieces. You can see and you can purchase the stainless steel Radiomir on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this PAM00685. Now, this watch is a handsome, evocative, and unconventional take on the modern wire lug Radiomir, designed to emulate late 1930s reference 3646 prototypes, hence the appearance of the 12-sided Brevettato or patent bezel. Now, the watch is very different from your standard modern wire lug Radiomir. We may as well talk about the dimensions and then describe how it deviates, but you can already see a little bit on the dial side. 47 millimeters across the round of the case. The watch is thick but not excessively so. Just under 14 millimeters, 13.9 millimeters thick. I would actually say that because of the step of the case flank between the bezel and the rounded edge, you could probably wear this underneath a dress cuff. From lug to lug, it's fairly wearable. The watch is 47 millimeters square, effectively, but if you were to measure to the outer edge of the wire-style lugs, you would get 53 millimeters. I believe that it wears far more compact than that number suggests, so you really need to try it. In my estimation, this watch could be worn with a handsome proportion and security on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. The wire lugs are that spare. Now, the watch features a thick cut, and as you can see, a sheer cut, rustic, simulated patina. I believe this is the Ponte Vecchio strap. It's rich, it has almost an oily texture, it has a contrasting stitch. The one thing that's a little bit out of place is the OP logo, which is vintage 1970s, while the rest of the watch is vintage late 1930s, but it has a simple polished trapezoidal pin buckle for easy adjustments, a sandwich style dial. As you can see, it does have the depth of the stencil on top of the fully luminescent disc that is Panerai tradition. Also, a rich combination of simulated vintage radium style patina luminova. Make no mistake, it looks like vintage radium, but it is super luminova. It is abundantly luminescent at night, and you have 18-karat rose gold hands, two-hand style at center. This watch is all about the look, the vibe, the vintage ambiance, and it does have that thanks to this unconventional bezel. Now, there are two versions of this watch, the 685 and the 687. The 687 featuring a more extreme patina style dial in a tobacco tone that probably better matches the patina style stitching on the strap. This one's a little bit more muted. Now, it does feature a large onion style knurled crown. You pull it out and you get access to the functions, winding and setting of the caliber P3000. Now, you'll note one of the more useful functions is the Timezone functionality, so you can actually move the hour hand in 1 hour steps while the watch continues to keep time and the minute hand remains stationary. Now, of course, this watch features a little bit of a deviation from the program, as all of this is contained underneath a thermoplastic or plexiglass crystal, just like those vintage dive watches. So you have the image of the 12-sided patent bezel and an authentic plexiglass that gives you a little bit of a romantic off-axis distortion when you look at the watch from an angle and turn it over. That handsome P3000 looks far better than any of the vintage Rolex Codebert or later Angelus SF240 movements used in true combat era Panerai. Although it does in some ways pay tribute to the layout with a three-quarter style bridge, you'll also note the straight graining, the brushed pattern across the bridges. This is very much in the style of the originals, albeit executed to a higher level. You can see all the screw heads are polished. The balance beats away at 21,600 vibration per hour, but what it lacks in beat rate, it makes up with an immense moment of inertia. It's a huge balance. It's also mounted on a dual-anchored balance bridge with a free-sprung index for shock resistance, which is an outstanding refinement for a watch that has sporting intent. And of course, twin mainspring barrels. You can see there are twin pivots in the bridge with a 72-hour or 3-day power reserve. Now, there is one proviso that you need to keep in mind, because this watch is a vintage tribute, and between the thermoplastic and the unique form of the bezel in order to keep the watch acceptably thin. The timepiece does have a 30-meter water resistance rating like the Luminor Due, so be mindful of that. If you do want to take the plunge, there are other Panerai references better for that purpose. For all other occasions, this handsome and evocative vintage-style watch, even among Panerais, which are vintage-style as a rule, has immense character, personality, and wrist presence. See it and own it on our website.